Have you ever been caught talking to yourself? It's a moment that can cause a blush to creep up your cheeks, isn't it? There's this prevailing notion that chatting to oneself is a bit odd, a sign of eccentricity, or even an indicator of mental instability. Society has a knack for stigmatizing those who engage in this harmless behavior, and it's high time we debunked this misconception. Welcome to the intriguing world of self-talk, a phenomenon that is as universal as it is misunderstood. Whether you're rehearsing a speech in the shower, muttering under your breath while solving a tricky puzzle, or congratulating yourself after a job well done, you're engaging in self-talk. Despite the awkwardness it might bring when done publicly, self-talk is an integral part of our cognitive processes, a tool we use to navigate the complexities of our existence. Decades of research show that talking to yourself is completely normal, and most, if not all of us, engage in some form of self-talk every day. So why do we talk to ourselves? And does what we say matter? These questions have been the subject of countless psychological studies over the decades. One of the primary reasons we engage in self-talk is motivation. Whether it's a self-pep talk before a big presentation or a quick, "You got this," before diving into a challenging task, self-talk can serve as a powerful motivational tool. It's like being your own personal cheerleader, boosting your confidence and encouraging you to push through obstacles. Reassurance is another common reason for self-talk. In moments of stress or uncertainty, we often turn to ourselves for comfort. Repeating calming phrases such as, "It's going to be okay," or "You're doing just fine," can help to soothe our nerves and alleviate anxiety. Lastly, self-talk is a crucial component of problem solving. When confronted with a complex issue, talking through the problem aloud can help to clarify our thoughts and facilitate the decision-making process. It's like having a brainstorming session with yourself. But what about the content of our self-talk? Does it hold any significance? Indeed, it does. Research shows that the nature of our self-talk can significantly impact our mental well-being. Positive self-talk can enhance our mood and boost our self-esteem, while negative self-talk can lead to feelings of stress and depression. So, if you ever find yourself engaging in self-talk, remember, it's completely normal. And if the chatter in your head is causing distress, don't hesitate to reach out for help. If you're feeling lonely, sad, anxious, or out of control, speak with a mental health care provider. Opening. How common is talking to yourself out loud? Well, let's dive right into it. The prevalence of self-talk is more widespread than you might imagine. From the hushed whispers in a library corner to the passionate monologues during a solo car ride, self-talk is an integral part of our daily lives. It's as universal as the air we breathe, and as individual as the thoughts that flit through our minds. So just how common is it? Virtually every single one of us engages in self-talk. Yes, you heard it right. It's not just a select few, but each and every one of us. We all have internal dialogues, a constant stream of thoughts that ebb and flow with the rhythm of our day. It's a ceaseless conversation with ourselves, a silent partner in our journey through life. And it's not just adults. Self-talk is a natural part of a child's development too. Healthy developing children start talking to themselves out loud from a very young age. It's a way for them to make sense of the world around them, to navigate the complexities of their budding emotions and thoughts. So, next time you find yourself questioning the normality of your self-talk, remember this. Self-talk is as human as laughing, crying, or dreaming. It's a natural, vital part of our mental landscape. Closing. Talking to yourself out loud is extremely common. What mental disorder makes you talk to yourself? This question often pops up. And it's worth noting that self-talk can indeed be a symptom of various mental illnesses. For instance, someone grappling with an anxiety disorder might find themselves in constant self-dialogue, trying to manage their worries and fears. Depression too can prompt self-talk as individuals navigate feelings of sadness, hopelessness, or apathy. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, often triggers self-conversations as a way to process traumatic experiences. And those living with obsessive-compulsive disorder may use self-talk to manage their intrusive thoughts and compulsive behaviors. Now, let's venture into more severe mental illnesses associated with self-talk: schizophrenia and psychosis. In schizophrenia, self-talk can manifest as auditory hallucinations, where the person hears voices that others can't. It's different from the everyday, healthy self-talk that most of us engage in. Psychosis, a symptom of several disorders, can also involve hearing voices or talking to oneself, often due to a disconnect from reality. But remember, just because someone talks to themselves doesn't mean they have a mental disorder. Self-talk is a natural human behavior. It only becomes a concern if it's distressing, interfering with daily life, or indicative of a larger mental health issue. So, to circle back to our initial question, what mental disorder makes you talk to yourself? The answer is quite a few. From anxiety and depression to PTSD and OCD, and even more severe conditions like schizophrenia and psychosis. Self-talk can be a sign of an array of mental illnesses. Do intelligent people talk to themselves? Now, there's a question that pops up often. You might be surprised to learn that the answer is a resounding yes. In fact, self-talk doesn't discriminate based on intelligence or education levels. It's a universal human experience. Delving into the relationship between self-talk and intelligence, we find that it is common among individuals across the spectrum. This isn't to say that chatting with oneself is a surefire sign of a high IQ, but it is indicative of an active mind, one that's constantly processing, questioning, and exploring the world around it. Some research even suggests that self-directed speech can enhance cognitive performance. It can aid in problem-solving, help maintain focus, and even improve memory. Think of it as your brain's way of keeping itself on track. So if you find yourself muttering through a tricky task or repeating information to commit it to memory, know that your brain is simply employing a strategy to perform better. It's important to note that while self-talk is common among intelligent people, it's not exclusive to them. It's a phenomenon that cuts across all intelligence levels, from the exceptionally gifted to the average Joe. It's a part of our cognitive toolkit, a way for us to navigate complex thoughts and emotions. So, whether you're a Nobel laureate or a high school student, don't be embarrassed if you catch yourself in a solo conversation. Self-talk is healthy, normal behavior, engaged in by people across all intelligence levels. So, next time you catch yourself talking to yourself, don't worry. Let's recap what we've learned today. Talking to oneself is a universal human experience, and it's not a sign of mental instability. On the contrary, it's a normal part of our cognitive processes. From early childhood, we naturally engage in self-talk as a way of understanding and interacting with the world around us. Self-talk isn't reserved for any particular group. It's practiced by people across all levels of education and intelligence. While excessive or disruptive self-talk can be a symptom of certain mental health conditions, everyday self-conversation is a healthy and beneficial habit. We've also discovered that the content of our dialogues with ourselves matters. Positive self-talk can be an effective tool for motivation, problem-solving, and emotional management. So don't be shy about encouraging yourself or working through a problem out loud. Remember, self-talk is not only normal, but also can be a powerful tool for motivation and problem-solving.